It's Dirt Freak. I think that's still my YouTube channel name. But I haven't been on here for a while, and forgive me if the camera angle is shitty. My little tripod broke about 2 months ago or something when I was trying to film some fishing for posterity, but yeah, it kind of shit out, so I'm holding the camera by hand right now. So forgive me if the angle is all fucked up. You can't really see me, but whatever, you can hear me, and I'm only gonna be filming myself for about 15 seconds, so fuck it. Well, I figured YouTube's a good place to document this series. A series of this build that I'm doing. And this is actually, I'll just turn the camera around now. Yeah. So this is my new project. It's 24 foot by about 7 foot wide by about 6.5 or about 6'9" tall old horse trailer. Now it was originally a horse trailer, and then somebody put sides on it about 15 years ago or so, and then it was a mobile saddle making workshop because this guy that owns this house is a good friend of mine and my dad's, and who owns this trailer builds saddles for a living, and I work for him on the side. And he's had this thing, he used this thing as a mobile workshop for a while, but it's been sitting here in the backyard for several years. And he gave it to me for free because it needs a fuckload of work. Now, I can't really, I wish you could have seen what it looked like before I put some work into it, but it had wood walls, like pressboard walls and ceiling. It had lights. It had carpeting. It had an actual floor that isn't 6x6. It had it had OSB laid down and then carpeting, and then up there in that top area was carpeted, and it had all the old styrofoam insulation and shit. But all the wood was rotted to shit. It was moldy as hell. I mean, it just reeked when you came in here of mold. The carpet was just always wet because it leaks everywhere. You had stuff like this. That's a hole that I've got sealed up with silicone for now. And then just different spots, like there's area right here on the wheel well that I fiberglassed, and fiberglass spot right there that I patched up, and just like all along all these fucking corners here are all fucked, all leaking. Anywhere where there's an open seam on the outside led straight inside, and like right here where you can see the light coming through, that was completely open all the way down. I fiberglassed over that, and then I've got silicone sealant in a lot of these corners. This is clear. I accidentally bought a bottle of almond colored silicone, so some of the corners are almond colored, like up here and right there, and most of it's clear though. So basically what the plan is at the moment, bringing this thing to the shop. I've got a razor blade in the ceiling right here for some reason, but I'm going to be bringing this thing out to the shop next week after Labor Day. I'll hook it up to the truck and drive it out there and get the sandblaster, and I'm going to blast the whole inside, with exception to the corners and shit that I've already siliconed. I'm going to try to not sandblast that as much as possible. But corners like this that are shitty, you can't really see it because there's no light in here. But corners that are still kind of rusty and gross, and and especially up here, like you can kind of see this is still all rusty as shit. All this is all rusty, and there's holes just everywhere. So that's all getting sandblasted, especially all down here on the floor. That's getting sandblasted all the way along the bottom. And then around the door here, all the way along the bottom on that side, that's all getting sandblasted. and got down to bare metal, and then I'm gonna go over it with truck bed liner, and then lay down some OSB, some 1/2 inch OSB on the floor, and then some plastic sheet, and then 1 inch insulation board, and then another sheet of 1/2 inch OSB over the top of that, and then I'll lay down some vinyl flooring over that, and then the walls are all going to be insulation board, 1 inch thick board, foam board insulation. Same with the ceiling, everything, and then getting probably 1/2 inch by 2 inch horizontal studs all the way across, so I can run all my wiring over my insulation, but underneath my walls. And then I need to wire in a couple more outlets, because that one's hooked to the outside, so it's wired so I can have external power. But I'm gonna hook solar. I'm gonna run, I think, 4 panels on the roof with a 5 battery bank in a box right in there with my kitchenette right here, and then the rest of that's gonna be the bed area. There's gonna be a kitchenette here with a spot to do some cooking. There's not gonna be a sink. I'm not gonna have running water yet, but the rest of the space is gonna be for my bikes, my motorcycles. Got my Harley and I got my dirt bike, so I need to keep those with me, because my plan for this thing is, as soon as I get it done, or soon after I get it done, I'm leaving and I'm gonna live in it for a while and go west, because I'm in Illinois right now. And I want to not be in Illinois anymore. So my plan is to head back up to Minnesota for a little while, for a week or two, to visit with my family and shit. And like, yeah, these corners and shit, this is all getting sandblasted. All of this, I'm doing new lights, marker lights all the way along the roof. But yeah, my plan is basically go back up to Minnesota for about a week, and then just start heading west, go through the Dakotas, work my way up through the Pacific Northwest, Montana, and then into Washington and shit like that. Spend some time in Montana doing some fishing. You can see it all, it needs some work. I mean, definitely needs some rust repair, so this ain't gonna be a quick job. I'm making sure I get every inch of this thing sealed perfectly. See, these are my 2 external outlets. That's where I hook up to external power. But yeah, do some fishing in Montana, Wyoming, work up through the Pacific Northwest, and then back down through California. Spend some time out there, then go through Nevada, hang out with my family I got out there, and then back down along the south through Arizona, New Mexico, back up through Utah and Idaho and all that shit, and then back down and hopefully just end up in Phoenix, which is where I want to end up permanently after it's all said and done. There was a hole right there until I filled this packed of this shit full of silicone. But yeah, so this will be an exciting process, I hope. So yeah, this week is going to be sandblasting and getting the floor in and finishing off all the ceiling, because as soon as I get it fully sealed, then I don't have to worry about it. The main thing I'm worried about right now is rust continuing to build, because that's the last thing I want. I want to have all the rust cleaned up and painted over and not have to worry about rust or